All right, let's dive into something I think we can all relate to. We're pulling from the Architect's Notebook today to explore that constant urge we have to, well, to fix ourselves. But what if that whole feeling is based on a big misunderstanding of who we actually are? Let's get into it. You know this feeling, right? That little voice inside that's always got a to-do list for a better you. Be calmer, be more productive, be more confident. It's like this never-ending project. But this source material challenges us to hit pause for a second and ask a really basic question before we try to change a single thing.
And this is that question. It sounds so simple, but wow, it's deep. When you think, I really need to change, who is the I that's doing the wanting? And which you is the one that supposedly needs fixing? I mean, that implies there are two of you in there, doesn't it? And that's the core idea we're going to unpack.
So, according to this blueprint for the mind, the answer is yeah. We're not just one single unified person. It turns out we have two really distinct parts of ourselves that are running the show at any given moment. Okay, so on one side, you've got what's called the reactive self. This is the one we all know intimately. It's the voice of our stress, our anxiety, our ambition. It's the part that's constantly comparing us to others and getting lost in all the noise. It's always busy. But then there's this other part of you, the watcher self. And this self is totally different. It doesn't judge, it doesn't freak out, it just watches. It's that quiet, still, unshaken center of the storm. So here's the big shift, right here. All our efforts to fix ourselves, they're aimed at that noisy reactive self. But what if the whole goal isn't to fix it at all? What if the goal is just to become aware of this other, deeper part of you, the watcher, the one that is already whole, already complete? I mean, realizing that, it changes the entire game. And what's really fascinating is how this idea of having two selves completely flips our experience of being alone versus, being in a crowd. Think about it. When we're stuck in that reactive self, being alone can feel, well, pretty uncomfortable. It can feel empty. All the external noise stops, and we're just left with the frantic noise inside our own head. So we're constantly looking for a distraction. But when you manage to connect with that quiet watcher self, the experience is the complete opposite. Solitude isn't emptiness anymore. It's fullness. It's this deep sense of peace, like you're finally coming home to yourself. The room isn't empty. You're just present with a part of you that is already calm and whole. And this totally applies to being with other people, too. The source calls it ignorance when you're in a crowd, but you feel completely disconnected and lost in the noise. But true wisdom, it suggests, is being able to be in the crowd, to enjoy it and participate, but all while staying connected to your own inner stillness. Now that is real freedom. So it all comes down to this idea of holding two things at once, stillness and noise, being alone and being together. That's the key. It's about learning to embrace all of life's contrasts, not just trying to pick one side and fight the other. And when you start down this path, it leads to some pretty powerful new ways of looking at things. Take confidence. This source defines it not as being the loudest person in the room, but as this quiet, deep understanding that life is both, its ups and downs, its chaos and order. And the other side of that coin is fearlessness. And again, this isn't about being reckless. It's about deeply understanding and accepting that everything in life has a natural cycle. Things begin and things end. And when you can really accept that, the fear of loss starts to lose its grip on you, and you're just free to actually live. So the ultimate path to feeling whole, it's right here. It's about celebrating everything, not just the good stuff. Can you learn to find value in silence and in sound, in aloneness and in togetherness? The moment you stop fighting one half of life, you become free to really experience all of it. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? It's a beautiful philosophy. But how do you actually do it? How do you put it into practice? Well, the source gives us a really clear, practical starting point for finding this blueprint in our own minds. And you know what? The steps are surprisingly simple. It suggests things like just sitting for 5 minutes in silence. No phone, no podcast, no agenda, just observing. Or when you're in a crowd, just notice how you feel. Or maybe before you fall asleep, just ask yourself, which part of me was running the show today? Was it the reactor or was it the watcher? The key isn't some massive life overhaul. It's these small, consistent little acts of awareness. That's how you build the muscle. And honestly, this right here just sums up the whole idea perfectly. This isn't one more thing to add to your self-improvement to-do list. It's not about becoming something that you're not. It's actually an act of subtraction, of just gently removing all the noise and the clutter so you can finally see the clarity that was there all along. So we end right back where we started, with a question to take with you. As you go about your day, maybe just ask yourself this every now and then. The answer? Well, the answer might just change how you see everything. Thanks for exploring this with me.